Welcome back. It's Murphy Houston, Sunday morning on Colorado Today. Check out our new Facebook page, too, by the way, and like it if you would. We'd certainly appreciate that. Today, I'm really honored to be talking to a young man by the name of Spencer Nee, who's here to talk about the Providence Network and his journey through the Providence Network and what he's doing to pay back the great people at the Providence Network to help him become a better man. Spencer, welcome in.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
It's such a pleasure to talk to you. I had a chance to see a video they sent me from Providence Network about your journey.
Yeah.
And it's been a tough one. And if you don't mind talking about that a little bit and how you turned your life around, because you were, for a young guy, in a tragic situation.
Sure. Well, I spent the greater part of a decade addicted to drugs and alcohol. This led me to the point of homelessness. And so what I'm really here to talk about is a trip that I'm doing. I'm biking 4,000 miles coast to coast as an effort to pay back an organization called Providence Network that helped me overcome obstacles of homelessness and addiction. And so I'm doing it as a fundraiser to help raise awareness about Providence Network and raise funds for their efforts to help other homeless and addicted youth and young adults.
Oh, yeah, the story goes on. I mean, endless stories of help from Providence Network. But your story in particular, are you from Denver?
Yeah, I grew up in the foothills west of Golden, and I was raised with a real loving family, typical middle-class upbringing. And I just, like a lot of kids, I started partying and making some bad decisions when I was in the high school. And, alcoholism and addiction, they're a real sneaky, progressive affliction in that you can kind of keep it together for a while. I went to college at 18 and graduated at 22, but eventually reached the point where I was drinking every night, and then I started to get sick, started to wake up shaky and having to start to drink in the day. And it really started to take its toll on my life. By my early to mid-20s, I found myself in and out of motels and shelters and on the streets, completely and utterly hopeless. I recall when I was 27, I had camped out in this enclosure behind a dumpster, and I woke up sick and hungry like I always did. But this particular morning I was covered in wetness. I thought it had rained. And it turns out it was actually a garbage bag someone had thrown over the dumpster, had broken and spilled the contents of the trash all over my only pair of clothes.
I can't even imagine.
This kind of was a wake-up call for me. There's a lot of denial that goes along with addictions, and I was I spent a lot of years denying that I had an issue. It's obviously hard to deny when you're laying in a dumpster covered in trash juice.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That was one of the key moments where I recognized that I really had a problem and had really hit rock bottom, and ended up calling my parents for the first time in probably about a year.
Wow.
Collect from a payphone.
I can't even imagine.
And they got the call they'd always been praying for, that I was looking for help and that I was ready to change. And they helped connect me to Providence Network through a pastor that they were friends with. So,
and that's when you say you connect with Providence Network, it's not just, this is like a 6-month rehab program. This is a long-term, life-changing event that really works.
Yes, it's that's one thing that differentiates Providence Network from some of the other programs is that they have this long-term continuum of care. You go into they have first step and next step homes. So I went into a first step home called Providence House that's at 8th and Logan, and I stayed there for 2 years, receiving Christ and counseling. They have live-in staff that that lives there, shares their meals with you. shares your daily struggles. You know, you come home from a bad day, and they're there to talk about it. And then after that 2 years, after graduating the program, I was able to go on to one of their drug and alcohol-free apartment communities. They call them Next Step homes.
Right.
So I stayed at Victory House, which was in kind of 5 Points area, and was able to continue to transition towards independence.
But all along, the staff of Providence Network is still with you, even at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. I still can pop in anytime and show up for dinner, and it's like I'm received with loving, open arms when I walk in. I actually ate dinner there last night. So
oh, great for you. Great for you.
And it's just like family, I think that's the big difference is you get connected with a family that really loves and cares for you and is there to support you the rest of your life. It's not just for those period of time that you're in the program.
And unfortunately, I think a lot of people don't know about Providence Network. It's been there for a long time. It's helped a lot of people, and it will need to help more people, I'm sure, because that's what kind of happens in life.
Absolutely. And that's one of my big goals with this trip is to raise more awareness for them. I think it's a model that really could be taken nationally. I would love to see that happen in my lifetime. There's so many people that need help. They estimate there's about 1,000 kids that sleep on the streets of Denver every single night, and up to 1.6 million in the country.
That's hard to believe, those numbers.
Yeah, and there's just a huge need for this type of help, and I think they've really got a good model. And so that's a big part of why I'm doing this trip is to help them expand. They currently have a capital campaign to open a new First Step home specifically for youth and young adults.
Right.
And they're working on purchasing the building. And then they're also looking to get another Next Step home to accommodate all the Providence Network graduates.
So where do they get their funding?
Well, they get a lot of their funding from personal donors, corporate sponsors, but the majority of their funding actually comes from residents that pay rent. So it's kind of a self-sustaining model, and that's one reason I think it's a great model that could be taken nationally.
So today's a big day. You're hopping a train literally today.
Yeah.
And you're heading to California.
Yeah. I've got my bike packed up in a box, and I am putting it on a train and taking it to California here in a couple hours. So, and then from San Francisco, I'll be traveling, leaving May 1st by bike and going from the Golden Gate Bridge to the Brooklyn Bridge. So I'm calling this fundraiser Bridge to Bridge, and I have a website called bridgetobridgeride.com.
And people can donate and support you on this website, follow your adventure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be doing a blog at bridgetobridgeride.com. You have to put the ride in or you'll get something else. But yeah, so there will be a blog there, and then I'll also have a blog on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, and all the links are on bridgetobridgeride.com. So,
well, you look like you're in pretty good shape, but you're talking, what's this going to take, 3 months?
Yeah, it's going to take about 3 months. I've set a pace of about 60 miles a day for 2 days and then a day off. And that'll enable me to film. I'm planning on filming a documentary on addiction recovery and share some of other people's stories along the journey that have overcome addictions.
So you've set up like appointments with people, or you're just going to try to find people? How's that going to work?
Well, I have a spot on my website, bridgetobridgeride.com, that you can go to if you know anyone that's interested in doing an interview, and I'll try to accommodate that. I also have a number of people in the Denver area that have gone through Providence Network and other programs that are going to speak to me and do some interviews.
Are you doing this by yourself?
Yeah, this is a solo trip.
You're not no support team, nothing, because you see these guys riding bikes and there's 14 people behind them to help them out.
Yeah. No, this is all solo. I've got panniers that I'm putting on my bike with all my camping gear. I'm planning on camping 2 nights and then probably getting a motel the 3rd night. Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
And a cell phone.
Yeah, I have a cell phone.
Some communication.
Yes, I hope I have reception. So.
Oh, I'm sure. So how much money is this going to require? I mean, I'm sure you're just raising funds not for you, but for Providence Network, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. My goal is to raise $100,000 for Providence Network.
That was my point. How much money are you trying to raise?
It's a huge goal, but I really believe it can happen. They have a tremendous need for these funds to help purchase this new home for homeless youth and young adults, and they're expanding, and the need is there in the community. So I'm really hoping that I'll be able to raise the money.
Well, I think $100,000 is not an over a top amount of money. It really isn't, based on some of the fundraisers. I need $1 million. You know what I'm saying? I mean, 100,000. It's a lot of money, but it's doable in 3 months.
Yeah, I think it's a realistic goal, and
Yeah.
obviously would hope to exceed that if possible too. You know.
Absolutely. Now, if you want to find out more about Providence Network, I think you can go to providencenetwork.org.
Yeah, that's correct.
It is your video on there, the Spencer knee story. And I saw that video about you and your story about Providence Network. It's awesome.
Yeah, I believe it's on there. I'm also seeking corporate sponsors for larger donations to help me with some of my expenses. This has been kind of an expensive endeavor, so if there is a company out there that would like to help out.
And where do we go for that? Where can the company go? Same website?
Yeah, bridgetobridgeride.com, and under sponsors, I have the details on how to go about that.
bridgetobridgeride.com. You can support Spencer if you're a corporation or an individual. You can follow his ride there. It's going to be incredible. Your summer, you're going to see, well, not just the entire United States, but a lot of people that are probably on the same road to recovery as you.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an amazing adventure. I'm going to meet a lot of interesting people along the way and hear some stories, similar to mine.
Somewhere along the line, we're going to have to find a phone for you to hook up, and maybe we can interview you again on Colorado Today. It's kind of
that'd be great.
Kind of an update.
Yeah,
You're
that'd be great.
Halfway through, and you've got this all mapped out. You know where you're going to be day by day.
Yeah. I've got. You can actually look at my map and route on the website bridgetobridgeride.com. There's a section. I use the Adventure Cycling Association maps loosely to guide my routes so that I knew things were bikeable. But also have areas where I'm going off and seeing friends and family along the way.
Oh, you might as well if you're passing through town.
Yeah, exactly. I'm passing through a lot of towns. So.
Yeah, I bet you will. Well, congratulations. Really proud of just not what you've accomplished in your life, but the fact that you're doing this to pay back.
Hey, thanks.
A Providence Network. And again, it's bridgetobridgeride.com.
Yeah.
Spencer, good luck.
Hey, thank you so much.
Good to have you in here.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be right back.